Welcome to the MPI Rep tutorial. My name is Dr. Brett Winchester, and we want to thank you for becoming an MPI Rep. This is our team here. Myself, Dr. Corey Campbell, we sit on the board. Obviously, Dr. Mark King is the president, and you guys are kind of our employees, our extension, so we count on you guys a lot for the movement that we're creating. We're very proud of our lineage. So MPI reps have gone on to do wonderful things, whether it's teaching at colleges, universities, or just being successful at practice. There was a famous Spanish philosopher by the name of Santillana, and he talked about what's called realms of being and how you have your thoughts and your feelings of what is success, and then you have what you actually do or what actually happens. And so what we want to do in Club is we actually want to close this gap. So we want you to be the best chiropractors. We want you to also be great teachers of the techniques that we show. So the goal is to actually close the gap of what people say they want to do and what they actually do. Because very often if we poll the crowd and we said, who wants to be an average chiropractor, no one will raise their hand. But yet very few people are actually doing what it takes to be the best chiropractor in the world. These are 3 books that we recommend our student reps to read. One is Manifest Your Destiny by Wayne Dyer, which is a great book on how to get anything you want out of life. The second one is The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, which is based on present time consciousness. And then this is one of our favorites. It's Talent is Overrated, and it pretty much studies all the best athletes, musicians, business tycoons in the world, and pretty much determined that it was hard work that got them there, not a God-given ability. So how do you become a master expert in anything? So if you've ever read Malcolm Gladwell's book Outliers, he talks about 10,000 hours of practice to become a master expert. That would equate today for 10 years. Erickson later went on to say that's not actually true. It's deliberate practice which gets you better. So it's not about just repetitively doing something over and over. It's about when you practice actually putting yourself in the exact environment that you would be in to get better. So that requires a high level of concentration and structuring of the specific training tasks, which we talk about at MPI seminars, monitoring informative feedback. So it's really good to get good feedback from either the rep or other instructors. That way the person knows that they have the adjustment set up correct or the palpation. This is a great quote from Margaret Mead. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. So this is where we're really proud of where we've been and where we're going with MPI, is our reps just continue to move on and do great things in our profession. In that same book, Outliers, which I discussed earlier, he talks about hot pockets in the world that have created the top in the world, basically. So the best skateboarders in the world have all came from the same spot. The best soccer players have all came from the same zip code in Brazil. The best musicians have all came from the same spot. The best artists have come from the same city in Italy. And I use this point here because all of these guys here are kind of the top in manual medicine in the last 50 years. They all came from the same hospital in Czech Republic. So the point is, was that just a haphazard occurrence, or were they all pushing each other? And the answer, of course, is B. So what we want in MPI Club is for you guys to kind of push each other and kind of have a network where you guys can bounce ideas off. And what we found out is it's not only true when you're running the club at school. Usually after school you move on to still keep in touch with these people to bounce ideas off of. Okay, so what do the great MPI reps do? Usually they're great leaders. We need them to be honest and accountable, of course. They need to be organized, because oftentimes we're running fundraisers or have scheduled events. They're typically already good teachers. We need them to be a walking symbol of health. If we were doing high school superlatives, they would win most likely to succeed. Obviously, they're great palpators and adjusters. Your club is usually a direct reflection of you. So, and then finally, which is very important, be sure that you pick great future reps to take your place once you leave. Because we're only as strong as our reps are. So this is Rex Ryan, and we use this slide to talk about how to influence people. So that's going to be one of the things that we need you to do, is to be able to influence people in your school. What does that take? If you made me say 2 things, I'd definitely say enthusiasm and certainty. This is a slide from David Butler. He calls it the wise action triangle. So down here you have the best of science or research. Up here you have the best of current therapies, which we're a little biased, but we think the Motion Palpation Institute fits that bill. And down here we have what's called the best of patient. So that means that your relationship with the patient is actually very important. And again, to have that relationship, we think enthusiasm and certainty are the two key things to be successful. So what is our foundation? Well, we have to know functional anatomy. So the best adjusters in the world, one of the reasons they are the best adjusters is because they know exactly how the anatomy works. We have to know how to palpate the joints. And then finally, we have to know how to have adjustments that correlate with those palpations. Here's our manual medicine wheel of fortune. So as you go through school, you're going to be inundated with a bunch of different techniques. And we understand that, and we appreciate that, because we definitely pull from many different techniques in manual medicine. However, in the center of our circle, you'll see joint motion palpation here. So we think this is absolutely the foundation for every student as they're going through chiropractic school. And then after you've mastered the skill to be able to do that, then we can add soft tissue, rehab, nutrition, DNS, any soft tissue techniques, whatever it might be. But we do believe that the foundation starts with joint motion palpation. So what is expected from you from an organizational standpoint? Well, we would like to see at least 40 people at every seminar. So it depends on the size of the school, but if we have 30, the seminar can still go off, but to have it profitable at all, we need at least 40. You'll be organizing and running the club. Most clubs meet 2 to 3 times a week for an hour, usually at lunch. We obviously have to have good teaching fundamentals. You have to be able to organize and run a seminar. That means finding the right hotel. Maybe it's at the school. Wherever it's going to be, you have to line that out. You have to know where to get the seminar notes printed out. Very often we'll use Kinko's or a place like that to print the notes out. The seminar finances, so gathering the money and getting that money sent back to National and getting the reviews from the seminar is also important. We want you to have 1 seminar per semester typically. Plan seminars and instructors ahead of time. Push becoming an MPI certified member. This is an extremely important point. We do not want you to use MPI contacts to push other agendas or organizations. And then just follow the typical school responsibilities for running the club. As far as adjusting in club, it depends what school you're at, but it definitely seems to be a cyclical thing. So some schools will allow you to adjust in club, others will not. Even if they will not allow you to adjust, you can still emphasize the importance of palpation. Because the best adjusters in the world, again, one of their best skills is that they know how to palpate. You can also work on how to thrust. So you don't always have to be set up on a patient to be working on thrusting. Supervisors, so sometimes you're allowed to adjust if you have a supervisor in the room. So there's MPI instructors in some of the schools that would be willing to be a supervisor for you. That's another option. And then finally is, everyone is so negative a lot of times around the chiropractic schools. We would recommend that as being an MPI rep that you stay very positive, even if you do have some limitations put on you from your club. Membership definitely has its benefits. So one of the huge benefits is you have free seminars while you're at school. You also, when you get out of school, have student price seminars for life. You get half off Mark King's Cutting Edge Consultant company. You have preceptor opportunities. I know myself, I usually have 2 preceptors a semester. And if you're an MPI rep, you have an open invitation to spend time in my office. Every time you run club, you're getting public speaking experience, which will be very helpful in practice. It allows you to build a resume, so you can put this on your resume someday when you get done being a rep. And then you also can control what seminars are going to come. So if you're wanting to see a lumbopelvic seminar, then you obviously have control to bring that to your school or city. So the Master Series courses. So this is something that we've kind of recently started in MPI. These are a reunion for reps. So as you're moving through school, what you'll probably find out is your buddies are usually ones that are affiliated with the people you hang out with. So a lot of times that's the MPI crowd. So it can be a reunion for you guys to meet back and kind of brainstorm and just have a good time, basically. Exchange information with other docs too. So a lot of times at the Master Series courses, we have docs from all over the place. So you can also learn from them. We have many different topics that Mark talked about in his earlier talk. And you can be there to actually refresh your skills. So this is kind of an ongoing thing. So when you graduate school, it's not that you're already going to be the best chiropractor. It's an absolute process. This is a quote from my dad. He says, "Son, you can't set the world on fire from your mattress." So one thing we've noticed around the different schools is a lot of times there's a lot of apathy because of having to pass boards or whatever it might be. So basically, we just hope you stay motivated yourself, and we also want you to be motivated the club, to come to club, and obviously to work on the palpations, the adjustments, and to come to the seminars. Thank you.